want to give all praises to Yahweh, which is the name of who the world ignorantly calls God. It means he is, he exists. In the book it says Jehovah, but there was no letter J. If you go back to the Hebrew sounding words, it's Yahweh. And Yahweh Shai, which is who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, but there is no letter J. What is it, 2022 years ago when he lived and died. So his name was Yahweh Shai, simple and plain. Double honor to those in the Apostles of Great Millstone. The video had got cutting off when I was just recording the last time, and I didn't know exactly where I left off until just now, and ironically it cut off at the Gentiles part. So I'm going to Lord willing dig into that real quick. Quickly as possible. The book of Romans, chapter 11, verse 1, I'll start at 1. Say then, have Yahweh cast away his people? God forbid. For I also am an Israelite, the seed of Abraham, of the tribe of Benjamin. So this is Paul speaking, and he's saying that he's an Israelite, he's the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, which will make him an Israelite, and he is a Benjaminite, which means he's a son of Benjamin, one of the 12 sons of Jacob, who are now known as the so-called Jamaicans and people in the islands, the West Indies. Verse 2, God have not cast away his people. And like it says, so what is it? I want to say Malachi, but I don't. I'm going to say, is it Nahum? Hold on, let me get this right quick. Okay, Amos. So in the book of Amos, let me read it again. Romans chapter 11, verse 2. God have not cast away his people, which he foreknew. What ye not what the scriptures said of Elias, how he maketh intercession to Yahweh against Yasha'al, is saying. So God's not going to cast away his people that he foreknew. Well, who is his people? Who are the Gentiles? Who are his people that he's not going to cast away? These are the Gentiles that are spoken about in the New Testament. And that, one precept for that is the book of Amos. One precept that came to mind is, and I could have got one from Malachi too, but I don't want to keep going back to the same, using the same jabs. The book of Amos, chapter 2. Hold on, Salakia. Let me go back to the book of Amos, chapter 3, verse 2. I'll start at 1. Hear this word that the Lord hath spoken against you, O children of Israel, against the whole family which I brought up from the land of Egypt. So the whole family which he brought up against the land of Egypt, saying, you only have I known of all the families of the earth. Therefore, I will punish you for all your iniquities. So that's why the best go through the most stress, because we getting punished for all our iniquities. And like the scripture says, we're the only nation, we're the only people on the earth that Yahweh Bashem Yahshua has been dealing with. We're the only ones that he knows. We're the only ones that have the opportunity to know him. In the book of Malachi 1 and well, it clearly shows that, you know, God hates. The Lord loves and he hates. Because Malachi 1 and 1 says, the burden of the word of the Lord to Israel by Malachi, I have loved you, said the Lord. Yet ye say, wherein hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother, said the Lord? Yet I loved Jacob, and I hated Esau, and laid his mountains and heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. Whereas Edom said, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus said the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and against and the people against whom the Lord have indignation forever. So if the Lord has indignation against people forever, and he's gonna throw down what they build, then how in the hell can anybody just be grafted into these blessings, to these promises? It's just not gonna happen. So in the book of Romans chapter 11 verse 2, God has not cast away his people which he foreknew, and his people are the 12 tribes. That's it. Nobody else. You're just sorry. You're just on the other side of the field. You against us, just like you chose to be in Psalms 83. But since Psalms 83, since the days of Psalms 83 was written, and before then. But anyway, verse 3, Lord, they have killed thy prophets and dig down thine altars, and I am left alone, and they seek my life. But what said the answer of Yahweh unto him? I have reserved to myself 7,000 men who have not bowed the knee to the image of Baal. Verse 5, even so then, at this present time, also there's a remnant according to the election of grace. So there's a remnant. There's a remnant. There's a remnant according to the election of grace. And these are the Gentiles that don't know what's going on. They think they think they should be rapping Ephesians, or they think they should be rapping Galatians, or they think they should be rapping Corinthians, or they think they should be proud to be from Macedonia. You know what I'm saying? Or they think they only want to hear about their hood out who knows, Rome. Yeah, Rome. They think Rome is where it's at. They don't want to hear about nothing else. And it's the same thing today as far as the Gentiles. There's nothing new under the sun. Nothing's changed. So in the book of Ephesians chapter 2, verse 11, which where I think it got cut off earlier, it said, wherefore remember that ye being in times past Gentiles in the flesh, who are called uncircumcision by that which is called the circumcision in the flesh made by hands, that at that time ye were without Christ, being aliens from the commonwealth of Israel, and strangers from the covenants of promise, having no hope, and without God in the world. So 2,000 years ago, that's what our people was going through. And 2022 years later, it's the same damn thing. You know, and it's not pretty hard to get it with the whole who the Gentiles are and stuff like that. It's not hard at all. You're not gonna get it like the first time you hear it. You know, you take some looking at this and looking at that and looking at a map and just thinking about today's time, because it's just the same thing is just happening all over again. 1 Corinthians chapter 12 verse 2. Matter of fact, I'll start at 1. Now concerning spiritual gifts, brethren, I would not have you ignorant. ye know that ye were Gentiles carried away unto those dumb idols, even as ye were led. See, that right there, it just shows who the Gentiles are that's being spoken of in the New Testament that need to be grafted into the covenant. Because to be carried away with dumb idols means you had to leave the law, statutes, and commandments, which was only given to the nation of Yasha'Allah. It was not only given to them, but they're the only ones that kept it. Okay? They're the ones that Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai ordained to make a covenant with. Keep the covenant with. That he kept with Adam, Seth, Noah, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, so on. And it's funny because these two scriptures right here on the screen, if you read them by himself, it could be confusing to understand the whole Gentile thing. But if you think about the scriptures that I just read, reading these should be self-explanatory as well. The book of Romans chapter 2 verse 9. I'm going to go to it in case I want to read up one or down one, like Granddaddy always says to do. Romans 2 and 9. Okay, well, yeah, let me read 8. The book of Romans chapter 2 verse 8. But unto them that are contentious and do not obey the truth, but obey unrighteousness, indignation and wrath, and there's going to be a lot of people willing to do that, especially with that charagma dancing in the background. Verse 9, tribulation and anguish upon every soul of man that doeth evil, of the Jew first, and also of the Gentile. But glory, honor, and peace to every man that worketh good, to the Jew first, and also to the Gentile. For there is no respect of persons with God. Now, verse 9 made me think a lot. It made me think about the kingdom. No, verse 10 made me think about the kingdom. Verse 9, tribulation and anguish upon every soul of man that doeth evil. Well, we already know that the other nations, they can't do good. So they're already mad. They're automatically, their heaven is about to turn into hell. And their heaven is only heaven because it's just full of wickedness. Now, their hell is is our heaven. But tribulation and anguish upon every soul of man that doeth evil, of the Jew first, and also the Gentile. Well, the Jew, because like the scripture says, it's better to not know than to know. So the Gentile, because of, punishment and losing our identity, which was prophesied, that we would lose our heritage, they didn't know, but they're still going to get punished. Okay, but with the Jew, they knew. So in the eyes of the Lord, you're like a automatic habitual offender. If you do something twice or 3 times, it's like, okay, you're a bad guy, huh? You just like coming to jail, huh? So that's how verse 9, it both applies to the nation of Yasha'Allah, because, and if you want to include yourself in the other nations, yes, you can get jacked up too. But like I said, the covenants is not for you. The laws are not for you. So you don't even have the law, period, to do good. Okay? You can only do evil. But glory, honor, and peace to every man that worketh good, to the Jew first, and also to the Gentile. So this is not This is not a I'm a Gentile. I could receive good because it said to Jew and the Gentile. There's no precept that lines up with that. There's no other scripture that lines up with that you could pull out your hat. The book of Romans. Oh yeah, that's both verses, 9 and 10. So let me read down to 11. Let me see. What's 12? Verse 12. For as many as have sinned without law shall also perish. Then who was the law given to? Who was the law supposed to be given to? The only family that Yahweh has ever known. So for as many as have sinned without law shall also perish. These are the Gentiles without law. And as many has sinned in the law shall be judged by the law. These are the Jews. Verse 13, for not the hearers of the law are just before God, but the doers of the law shall be justified. For when the Gentiles which have not the law do by nature the things contained in the law, these having not the law are a law unto themselves. You see what I mean? So the Gentiles weren't given the law. In verse 14, the Gentiles which have not the law do by nature the things contained in the law. That's because they're the children of Yahshua, and the law is given to them. It's in our spirit. The Gentiles in today's time are the 12 tribes scattered abroad. If you want to make it completely clear, we can call you Old Testament Gentiles heathens, and just treat the 2/3 as heathens. If that'll make you feel better. Because it just makes no sense unless like Yahweh just wants to keep all of this confusion out here just to confuse people, because it's just ridiculous. It makes no sense how it can even carry on. If the glove don't fit, you must have quit. Like it's just the case got to get thrown out. It's ridiculous. Call all Yahweh outside.